Hey guys, Keith again with Bulletproof RC. This is my Axial Honcho SCX10ii. This wasn't a kit and it wasn't an RTR. It was someone's build on eBay. I picked it up just because he had already did a few things to it, and I thought the value was there, and it had very low use on it. Didn't look like this when I got it. It was just had the Honcho bed, and it had his SR5 cab on it. Put some light over there. That's the cab he had on it right there, which is not a bad looking setup, but just wanted to make it my own. So I picked up a SR5 body from A Main Hobbies, and when I was looking on A Main Hobbies, I noticed they sold Harley Designs 3D printed rear bed mounts. If you know what I'm talking about, he actually did a video on the SR5 body mounting to an SCX10 Honcho, and he actually 3D printed some mounts that go hard to see now that it's all put together, and I'm not going to take it apart but they're bed mounts. Check out Harley's video, maybe I can put a link to it. They mount actually to pre-existing mounting locations on the Honcho cage down here, and then you just have to drill holes here and mount your bed. Now I went the extra mile, and I also if you can see in that wheel rail there, I mounted the rear section of the bed to the cab as well here for extra support. And then I didn't like the way the rear end of this thing looked with a Toyota bed and no bumper. Now I know there was a lot of Toyotas back in this time. They were actually sold with no bumper, and a lot of people ran them that way, but it just looked weird to me. So went in my parts bin, found an old Axial Jeep Cherokee rear bumper. This is the Vanguard, I believe, and I started cutting on it, and I basically cut the post off and cut it flat across in the front, and hard to see from here, but there's some clamps. They're just basically something you can find from the hardware store to mount like coax cable to your wall or whatever. I'll flip it over in a second and show you what it looks like. Over here I just found some plastic that I had in my parts bin, and I put a screw into the plastic on the bottom side, and then I put a screw into the plastic over here to mount the body to the bed, and the bed mounts to the cage. So therefore there's another mounting position to strengthen the rear bed of this Lexan to the Honcho cage. I feel pretty confident with the way I've got this mounted back here, with the extra mounts here, and with Harley's 3D printed mounts. I feel like this bed's pretty bulletproof now, but anyway, I think it looks pretty good with the Honcho cage and all, and the scale details in there, the spare and everything. Okay, now a couple things this rig came with right off the bat, and that was this RC 4-wheel drive front bumper, which I think looks pretty good on here. It is plastic, but it does a trick, and it already had a Warn 9.5 winch on it with no winch controller, but I have one of those, so we're good there. It also came with these nice G-Made Zero shocks. Let's go ahead and lift this up. That's another thing I like about the this body on this SCX10 is I also picked up the Shapeways rear hinged system that allows you to mount a Honcho cage, and it flips open like a funny car. So I like that for easy access. Just do 2 body pins and you're good to go. But back to the shocks. These are G-Made Zero shocks. I've never tried them. This vehicle came with them, so so far I'm pretty happy, because I ran this chassis with that body for a little while, and those shocks perform great. They don't leak, and so I'm pretty happy with them. Came with the Boom Racing shock towers as well. Again, that's why I picked this thing up used, is because the guy had already installed quite a bit of hop-ups in this thing, and the value was there. I did put the Rock Beast 4.6 compound with the Alien Tack wheels on myself. These were not on the vehicle, and then of course Alien Tack wheels are compatible with SLW hubs, and I also have V patties back there for some extra brass down low, keep things upright. I put a Hobbywing Axe system in the vehicle. It came with Axial electronics, which nothing wrong with that, but I just wanted to give it a little bit more controllability and a little bit more torque, and that's what the Axe system can do. It's very, very adjustable and very smooth. So pretty happy with that. Got a JX servo in it. I think it's a 5603. I could be wrong there. That's straight out of memory. I'll try to put a link below, but that's pretty close to 500 inch-ounces of torque, and it's pretty fast too. On 7.4 volts, which the Hobbywing Axe system is adjustable and can put out, so the steering's quite impressive. Now let's flip the car back over and I'll show you some other things that came on the vehicle and a couple things I added to it. Well, as you can see, I didn't mention the mirrors and the roof rack that I put on this body. This is a standard fare metal roof rack. You can find them a dime a dozen on eBay. And then of course rubber mirrors, you can find those as well. These are door handles that were actually spares in my UMG 10 kit, so put those on there as well. It looks pretty good. Underneath, this thing already came from the used purchase on eBay. Came with the metal hot racing drive shafts, came with the aluminum links. I did have to go in and retrofit the rod ends with metal balls, pivot balls, but that wasn't a problem. I had plenty of those in my parts bin. It came with the metal servo horn already. The aluminum boom racing knuckles and hubs were on it. I did change out the knuckles for some brass ones that I had on hand, just to put a little bit more weight down low in the front end. Those are boom racing rear lockouts, came with those. Those are extra speed axles. I did put those on. I've had pretty good luck out of the extra speed axles. They are cast aluminum instead of CNC machined, so they're not quite as pretty as some of the others out there, but for 15 bucks an axle, it gives you a nice solid axle that you'll never break in 100 years unless you're really, really mean to things. And what I really like about aluminum axles on a vehicle, especially an axial vehicle, is that it keeps the pinion and the ring gear completely intact without any flexibility. You don't have to worry about any breakages on your axles or premature wear on your gears. Just a stock axial skid plate there. No need to change that out. The plastic slides over the rocks well, so why change it, right? And I think that'll do it, guys. That's the bulletproof RC version of Harley's idea of mounting a SR5 body onto a Honcho. I think it turned out pretty good. If you think so, please feel free to comment. And always, my friends, like and subscribe to Shoe Fits, and have a great day.